courage is actually the ability to act even though you're afraid. It's not being fearless. It's the ability to take action in the face of fear. Recovery has exponentially increased my courageousness. I've learned that fear doesn't have to stop me. That's actually what led to the wreckage of my life, letting fear stop me. Hi, I'm Barb Nangle. I want to welcome you to my podcast, Fragmented to Whole Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery, where I help people heal their emotional, psychological, and spiritual wounds and make deep, lasting changes in their lives. I'm the founder and CEO of Higher Power Coaching and Consulting, LLC, where I coach people on how to develop healthy boundaries. On this podcast, I share my experience, strength, and hope from recovery. I don't support or endorse any particular 12-Step Recovery Fellowship, and I don't claim to speak for any particular 12-Step Fellowship. I also don't believe that 12-Step Recovery is the only way to recover. You might need additional help. My hope is that you'll find my words concretely helpful in improving your life, whether you're in recovery or not. This is episode 133. I got over my fears because courage is contagious. When I was younger, I used to believe that courage meant not being afraid. I thought that somehow people who were courageous have no fear. And I just didn't understand how that was possible. How did they get rid of their fear? And I learned over time that courage is actually the ability to act even though you're afraid. It's not being fearless. It's the ability to take action in the face of fear. Recovery has exponentially increased my courageousness. I've learned that fear doesn't have to stop me. That's actually what led to the wreckage of my life, letting fear stop me. I let fear get in the way of my hopes, dreams, desires, relationships, everything. The most important message I've gotten about courage from recovery is this: courage is contagious. And I mean that in two different ways. First, your courage is contagious to me. That is, when I hear or see you do something in recovery that shows courage, it makes me think that I might be able to do that same thing. I think this is one of the many reasons why the group nature of recovery is so important. Not only do I get the support of other people in the group setting in recovery, but I also get to catch your courage. I get to catch the courage of all the people in the recovery meetings I go to. When I hear about someone making amends to somebody that they never thought they'd ever make amends to, or someone who's finally asked for something they've always wanted, but always thought it wasn't possible for them, like asking for a raise or a divorce. Or when someone finally sets a boundary with someone that they didn't think they would ever have the courage to set a boundary with, it makes me feel courageous too. You make things that I've thought as absolutely impossible possible when you act with courage and share about it in a meeting. So your courage is contagious to me. Then the second way that courage is contagious is from me to me. That is, when I do something courageous, I'm more likely to be courageous again. Now, you may have heard me say before that when I started the Steps in Recovery with my first step group, when we would do things that scared the shit out of us and it didn't kill us, we would actually say, and I didn't die. Or, maybe they all didn't say it, but I know that I said it. And I needed to say it out loud. I needed to say, I didn't die. And I think this was especially so when it came to setting boundaries, because I'd never set them before, and the idea of doing so was terrifying to me. Even thinking about setting boundaries made me feel like I was going to die. And then I would do it, and I didn't die. So I had concrete evidence that I didn't die. And I reinforced that experiential knowledge by saying out loud, and I didn't die. I can see now that that was a way of me reminding myself, I have courage. I can act in the face of fear and not die, which means I can do it again and again and again. I have some evidence that I'm not going to die if I do this thing that scares me, because I haven't died yet, and I've done all these other things that have scared me. So, here's my challenge to you, dear listener. What is the thing you haven't had the courage to do? Whatever just popped in your head right now, what is that thing? I challenge you to talk about that thing in your next meeting. Tell the people in your meeting, I need the courage to do X. If any of you have a story about doing something similar, I'd love to hear it after the meeting, because courage is contagious, and I want to catch your courage. Now, down the road, when you get to the point where you've actually done that thing because you caught courage from someone else, please tell other people about it. You never know who you're going to inspire. And when you do this, please let me know. I'd really love to hear what the thing was that you thought you'd never be able to do and that you finally got the courage to do, and who you got the courage from. What was the story that they told you? Please send me an email and let me know how this worked out for you. You can reach me at barb@higherpowercc.com, or if you're following me on Instagram, please DM me there. Here's to courage, my friends. Talk to you next week. I was recently reminded by a friend that when I first started recovery, I didn't feel lovable. I almost can't believe that I used to feel that way, and that I kind of forgot something so profound, because I truly love myself now. And I want that for everybody. If you don't love yourself, there's literally nothing that can make up for that. I created something exclusively for my private clients, since many of them don't love themselves. And I've now opened up my private vault to share it with up to 10 people individually. It's called the Self-Love Sprint. You'll grow to love yourself and truly feel worthy, so you can stop saying yes when you really want to say no, stop neglecting yourself and putting everyone else first, stop saying all kinds of nasty shit to yourself. That is not what people who love themselves and feel deserving do. You'll stop being afraid that others will think that you're selfish for taking time to care for yourself. This is also for you if you don't really know who you are, because you've always been such a fucking chameleon. Go to higherpowercc.com/love sprint. Remember, I'm only offering 10 of these, so don't wait. If you like this podcast, and I'm guessing you did or you wouldn't still be listening, then you're gonna love the other things I have to offer. If you'd love pre-release podcast scripts and episodes before anyone else gets them, or if you'd love access to content from my private vault that I developed exclusively for my private clients, which is like having a work session with me without me actually being there, go to patreon.com/higherpowercoaching. There are 3 tiers ranging from as low as $4 up to $24 a month. You'll also love my weekly newsletter, Friday Fragments, which has content very similar to the podcast. You can check it out at fridayfragments.news. That's fridayfragments.news. Please like and subscribe to my podcast on your favorite podcast outlet. I'd also love it if you'd leave a review, which you can do either in the show notes or on Apple Podcasts. It really helps other people find my podcast so they can get the benefits you've gotten from listening. If someone came to mind when you listened to this particular episode, please share it with them. And my favorite place to hang out on social media is Instagram. I'm at Higher Power Coaching. Please DM me there. I'd love to hear what you got from this episode. I run group and private coaching programs on building healthy boundaries. Whether you need help with boundaries in your personal, professional, or romantic life, I can help. Head on over to barbchat.net, where you can hop onto my calendar for a free 30-minute Better Boundaries consultation. My ideal client is someone who is ripe for change. If that's you, I would love to work with you. My goal with all my work is to help you make lasting changes in your life like I've made deep, lasting changes in my life. Remember, it's never too late to recover. No one is beyond hope, and healing is possible. Thanks for listening.